Loris Karius is the ghost at the feast. The beleaguered goalkeeper only needed to return to public consciousness for a couple of days for two of the world's best goalkeepers to make horrendous errors. Ironically enough, in the very same fixture in which Karius' career was so brutally changed forever. Thibaut Courtois and Alisson Becker both made horrific mistakes as Liverpool and Real Madrid played out a Reed humdinger in the Champions League last 16 tie on Tuesday. As if the very prospect of Karius readying to start his first match in 2 years has shaken the core of goalkeepers everywhere. Perhaps it's an omen for what is to come later this week. Many may not have even known Karius actually played for Newcastle until the 22nd minute of the Magpies' 2-0 defeat to Liverpool on Saturday evening. That's when Nick Pope charged out of his box, stooped low in an attempt to head the ball but was as mistimed as an Avanti train and completely whiffed it. As he fell to the floor, he saw the ball in front of him and inexplicably grabbed it towards him. A straight red card, no argument. Newcastle had already conceded 2 goals when Pope was dismissed, so the game wasn't hugely affected, but it could have a seismic impact on their season. Even though the red card occurred in the Premier League, red card suspensions are served in domestic competitions as well, so he will be banned for Sunday's Carabao Cup final. Social media awoke with gradual realization, like a flower sprouting in spring. That means he's suspended for the final. Wait, Martin Dubravka is cup-tied. Guess Karl Darlow will play. Wait, he left on loan. Who's left then? It soon became clear who was left. The man whose 2 errors in the Champions League final defeat to Madrid were so atrocious that he only played 1 more competitive game for Liverpool. The following 3 years he spent on loan at Besiktas, then there was an ill-fated stint at Union Berlin before only being released by the Merseyside outfit in the summer. Now Karius will be making his debut for Newcastle in their biggest match in nearly 25 years. There has been panic on Tyneside. It's harsh on Karius, who has seen his ability and perhaps even his character defined by a single match in which he suffered a concussion, but his inclusion is now one of the most intriguing subplots of the final. Will get his redemption? Will he make another howler and cost Newcastle the cup? The loss of Pope is huge, but it does seem to have stung even more for those in Newcastle due to the unique circumstances which will force them to play Karius. So much so that a bizarre debate has been waged over the ordeal. Be it former referees, radio pundits, Gary Lineker, or the inevitable hordes of Newcastle fans. There have been calls for, on this one-off occasion, the law to be inexplicably changed to allow Pope to play in the final and serve his ban in the league. Football can be very cruel, and sadly because of a few seconds of almost doing something naturally, Nick Pope Newcastle GK misses a final, former referee Keith Hackett tweeted. The referee was correct to dismiss Pope. The authorities should delay the sanction to enable Pope to play. There, I have said it. He's going to miss the cup final now. That seems disproportionate, Lineker said on Match of the Day. Come on, let him play in the cup final. He's been brilliant this season. Not only is the outpouring of sympathy for poor old, put upon underdogs Newcastle a little weird, it's also an absolutely absurd argument. For starters, changing the rules midway through the season would make a mockery of the tournament's integrity, and why should Newcastle be let off the hook? Because Pope is a sound bloke, or because he's played really well? Don't be daft. He's unfortunate, but he made a dumb error and now he's being appropriately punished. The argument also ignores the inconvenient truth that Newcastle are benefiting from the same rule that is leaving them without Pope. Star midfielder Bruno Guimaraes was sent off in the semi-final win over Southampton and given a 3-game ban. But instead of missing the final, he got to serve his 3 games in the league, which is now conveniently completed just before the final. Guimaraes, who Newcastle haven't won without once all season, will be available in the final, and that might be even more important than who is in goal. As Karius knows all too well, football is unfair, cruel and unforgiving. Newcastle deserve no special treatment regardless of many bewildering arguments are made.